Hello there, adventurers, and welcome to Wally DM. Today we're going to take a dive into some D&D history and take a look at level titles. Now, if you're not familiar with these, level titles were used to give a name to each level of your character class as you progress with experience. Level titles were also used to signify your character's influence on the world and also a way that they could introduce themselves. Now, the reason that we're going to discuss this topic today is because I recently discovered these level titles being used in the D&D Beyond forums. And it got me thinking, how many folks know what those titles on D&D Beyond actually mean and where did they come from? Today we're going to do a D&D history video on level titles. Just a reminder, if you have not joined our Discord yet, I highly encourage you to do so. Come on over and hang out with me and folks that know a lot about D&D. And if you like the content on this channel, please hit that subscribe button and pick up my brand new puzzle book, Wally DM's Journal of Puzzle Encounters, available now on DriveThruRPG. So let's start with present day. On D&D Beyond, they have forums, and as a member of those forums, after you post so many times, they grant you a list of titles that you can choose from. Now, these titles appear right underneath your avatar and include words like hero and adept and robber and cutpurse and evoker and things of that nature. And usually as you go up in levels or as you get to a certain amount of posts, they'll give you 11 new titles to choose from. Now, when I was on D&D Beyond the other day and granted another 11 titles to choose from, I immediately recognized these as level titles from Advanced Dungeons & Dragons. And then I thought to myself, how many new players out there would make that connection? So in earlier editions of Dungeons & Dragons, level titles were used to signify how a character has progressed rather than referring to their number of their level. So for example, a third level cleric wouldn't say I'm a third level cleric, they would say I am a priest. Or a fourth level fighter would actually be referred to as a hero. A fifth level thief would be a burglar, and a 6th level magic user would be a magician. And it's to my understanding that level titles were used as a way to help roleplay your character. And so instead of introducing your character as Zart Gordain, a 5th level fighter, you could in turn introduce your character as Zart Gordain, the swashbuckler. Now, level titles appeared in the original Dungeons & Dragons Men and Magic from 1974 and were included in the game by Gary Gygax and Dave Arneson. Level titles can also be found in the basic Dungeons & Dragons, including the Beckme series, and also first edition AD&D. Now, it was after first edition AD&D, so from second edition onwards, that level titles were no longer included in any of the books. But once again, I did see these resurface by looking on D&D Beyond, which is a nice nostalgic and kind of a tip to the hat to the old days. Now, there are also other D&D historians that believe, in addition to the role-playing aspect of level titles, that level titles were also used to signify a character's experience. They were referred to more as an apprentice until they became what is called name level. Now, in Advanced Dungeons & Dragons, human characters can advance all the way up to the 36th level. But the pinnacle of their career hits starting at level 9 for some classes and a little bit higher for others. And that is when they stop rolling for hit points and only get a couple per level. And a lot of other features are unlocked. So let's take, for example, the fighter. At 9th level, the fighter becomes name level and becomes a lord. After 9th level, they're a 10th level lord, 11th level lord, 12th level lord, so on, etc. Now, when most of the primary classes reached that name level, they were able to do something really cool. So with a 9th level lord or a 9th level fighter, they would actually start gaining some followers and some henchmen. And they were able to build a castle if they had enough gold to do so. And a lot of times neighboring rulers would see them as this high-level adventurer, and they would actually donate or give them some land and make them a baron. So now the 9th level fighter can also have the option of becoming a ruler. The situation is similar for clerics, who also at 9th level are now name level and become a priest or a priestess. And it's at this level that they can also build a castle, and in fact the church might help, and they may even want to create a chapel to their deity. For a thief, they would reach name level at level 10, and they could also get some followers, and they could construct a hideout. So they are pretty much starting their own thieves guild. Now for magic users, they became name level at level 11, officially becoming a wizard. And once they reached that level, they were able to craft magical items, or they could construct their own wizard tower. So those are level titles, and again, they were with us through 1st edition Advanced Dungeons & Dragons, and were primarily intended for role-playing purposes and to track our progress as we reach the pinnacle of our character class, which was name level. Now, if you are a dungeon master and would like to see a puzzle that includes level titles, be sure to check out puzzle number 39, Gygax's Banquet, here on my channel. I'll put a link in the description below. So that's all I have for you today. What additional tidbits can you think of to start a discussion about level titles? Are you on D&D Beyond? Did you notice the titles before? And if you did you know what they meant or where they came from? Also, would you introduce your character by a level title? If you were out and about and you meet someone at a shop, would you say, "Hi, I'm Zart Gordain, I am a 5th level fighter," or would you just introduce yourself by name only? I recently ran a Twitter poll that says nowadays in 5th edition that most characters would probably just introduce themselves by their character's name. But with that being said, could you use level titles today, or should they just remain in the past? Be sure to leave a comment below, it helps the channel out a lot. Thank you very much for watching, and on to the next.